All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. If you haven't been following along, during the month of September, Relay FM raises money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It's an institution here in Memphis that treats children and young people with cancer without charging their families a dime. And having gone through this myself with my oldest son, I can tell you the last thing you want to worry about when you get that sort of news is how you're going to pay for it. You know, we've been St. Jude patients now for over a decade, and I've never paid them a dime for our son's treatment, and that counts chemotherapy, countless MRIs, surgeries, physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, but also covers things like meals, and if we have to travel, all of that stuff is just taken care of, and that's thanks to the generosity of people out there like you and people like me who donate to the hospital. So we're doing this in the month of September. You can go to stjude.org/relay and donate. This stream is a sort of a thank you for crossing $70,000. Now I'm a few days late. As you can see on the screen, let's see, we are now at $116,000. So we have a couple more streams coming up to sort of catch up with y'all. It's been amazing to see this money come in so quickly. So if you go to stjude.org/relay, even if you've already donated or you're going to donate later or something, we have a schedule there, and you can see future events, and those times are in your local time zone. So you don't have to worry about, oh, is this Eastern time? Is it London time? No, it's wherever you are. So if you're in a forgotten time zone like me, here in Central Time, you don't have to worry about doing the conversion. It's all in your local time. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take my 2019 Mac Pro. We're going to put the Apple wheels on it. Now, I looked at the instructions for this probably 6 months ago. I'm hoping there are instructions in here. I'm also hoping that in my toolkit I have what we need. And so we'll just go ahead and dive into this. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat so you're going to kind of see me go back and forth. I also have a over-the-shoulder camera so we can see, you guys can kind of see what I see. So I'm going to flip to that now. And so we can see this overhead camera here. Forgive the mess that's over here. That is my brother's iMac that I got to migrate for him. That's a secret project in there. There's some eyeballs. I'm putting eyeballs on my wall. You can see that on my Twitter account. All right, so let's open these things up. Now, no one should ever spend this kind of money on a computer accessory. Like I said, at the end of this, I will be donating the amount of these wheels to St. Jude, really just to ease my own conscience about spending this kind of money. So, what's really cool, what you may not know about the Mac Pro, is that all of its accessories, the boxes match. So they come in this white box, and it's really textured. I don't know if you can hear this. Really nice packaging. Even things like SSDs and graphics cards, the Afterburner, it all comes in really nice boxes. So we got this. Don't need that anymore. Let's see what we got here. All right, so we have a couple of booklets. We have what looks to be like a bit. I feel like that's going to be important. So I'm going to sit this aside. I'm going to close my knife because I was a Boy Scout and I don't want to stab myself. Don't need that. All right, let's look at this. Installation. Learn how to install Mac Pro wheels, and it's a QR code. And there's two of these. These are exactly the same thing. They got a QR code there and directions. So I guess we will look at this. Let's see. Open apple.com and Safari. So this is just a support document on Apple's website. Okay, how to remove or install feet or wheels on the Mac Pro. Step 1, turn off your Mac Pro. Well, as you can see, it's off. It's been unplugged for a little while so it could cool down. Disconnect all the cables. I already grounded myself on this. So we're going to open it up, and I guess we're just going to dive in. So I'm going to sit this other paperwork. I don't need any of this. A real bummer there's no Apple stickers in there. You think for an accessory that costs almost as much as a MacBook Air, you would get a sticker, but I guess not. So, all right, so we're going to open this latch. This latch turns, and then the top case of the Mac Pro comes off. Comes off just like that. I'm just going to sit this aside here. if you have never seen the inside of the 2019 Mac Pro, this is basically it. So you have 3 fans in the front. Over here on the side, this is where the RAM is. Actually, the RAM's over here, sorry, behind these doors. You got a big blower down here, it pulls air in. And then on the back, of course, you have your stock I/O card, which comes from Apple, and the backs of any cards you've added. So I have a couple SSDs, an Afterburner, and then the W5700X GPU, which is in this bottom slot here. And you can see from this side, this is kind of where all the magic happens. So we've got the CPU under here. I've got a couple hard drives here, a couple SSDs, the Afterburner, the video card, and the power supply down here. And it all kind of comes into this stainless steel frame. Now, some of you may know, I actually spent a long time as a Mac technician, kind of early in my career. I've opened probably thousands of Macs. This is the nicest one to open. It's really easy to get in here and add things and change things. It's really something pretty special, as it should be, because this is a very expensive computer. Most people don't need this. Most people shouldn't buy this, but here we are, and we're just going to have a little fun with it today. So I'm going to get my directions again. All right. Place the Mac Pro on its side on a non-scratch surface. This is a non-scratch surface. All right, so we are going to lay it down. This is a little scary. All right, so we're gonna lay that down. Move my tools. This table's not very big, so I apologize for all the shuffling I have to do. Let's kind of get everything on here, and I'll give you guys a view. So we see the feet that I'm going to take off, and you can kind of see the side of the machine here. So the directions, let's see. I need a flexible screwdriver or driver, so I think the iFixit kit comes with that. Let's see. So I've got my screwdriver, got a flexible driver, and this bit, of course this bit doesn't fit in here. Oh boy. Let's see if I've got a bit in this case that looks the same, or something I can go up to a bigger size. This may be, I might need to take an intermission if I don't have the right. That's too small. That looks like the same. We're gonna go with that bit. If it feels weird, I think I have a flexible, I think I got something flexible in my garage toolbox I can use if we need to. All right, so we'll put this in here. See, this is bendy. Woo! Tools that look like this are very strange. Hello, Mike Curley. I see Mike Curley in the chat. Put my toolkit up. All right, let's look at the directions again. So we're going to go through the front. Okay, so let me show you guys. Inside of here and inside of here, so on the inside of the stainless steel frame, there's a little pocket. And in the bottom of that pocket is a screw or something that was going to fit the Apple bit, which again, I think the iFixit bit I pulled out, it looks to be the same size. If it feels weird, like I said, I'll take an intermission and see if I have something in my garage that will do this for us. So will they still turn clockwise or counterclockwise? Well, according to the directions, it looks like just counterclockwise. It doesn't say anything about turning it one way or the other. So I'm gonna assume this goes in normally and that it's not reverse threaded. So let's tell you what. Sorry for the nausea. I'm gonna bring you all over here so you can see this a little better. Again, forgive me for the mess in the background. My studio is not very big, and the podcast-a-thon has basically destroyed all of it. So let's try to put this in here. Wow, this feels super weird. I don't think I'm on it. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty far down in there. Let's see. This is the joys of doing things live on the internet where you don't practice beforehand, because where's the fun in that? Well, tell you what, give me 1 second. I'm gonna see. This may be too big. I have a flexible shaft bit extension for my drill, but I think it's too big. This may be a short-lived stream if I gotta run to Home Depot. Use the 1/4 to 4 millimeter adapter in the iFixit kit. Oh, is there an adapter in here? Let's look in this again. I didn't actually open this up all the way. Let's see if we can step up in size here. It's 5 millimeter. That's magnetized. I don't want to do it with a magnet. Crud. A little embarrassing. Let's see. It's the joy of doing it live, you know? Well, gang. Let's see. Take us to Home Depot with you. Do it for the stream. Oh. You know, if I had a gaming PC, this wouldn't be a problem. It would all be Phillips screwdrivers. All right, let's see here. The one for my drill is actually the right size. Let me see. Let me just see if this will go down in here, and if it will, I'll go get a socket. All right, this does fit. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go to my garage and I'm gonna get a wrench for the end of this, and I'm gonna use this much bigger, scarier looking flexible thing to do this. So in the meantime, Mike is in the chat room. Mike, do a Q&A and I'll be right back. I hope Mike did a lovely Q&A for everybody. All right, I got a bunch of tools now. So I've got my flexible guy. Hello, Mike. All right, so I got my bendy guy, and I'm going to get rid of this. Put that up there. So I'm gonna go from this. It is a 1/4" drive. Go. That on the end of my. So now, we're using real tools. Make sure we're turning the right way. And so now I've got my bit from Apple and the end of this totally ridiculous deal. So remember when I said a second ago this is the nicest Mac to be in? Maybe I was wrong. I think this is a little pain. Now Apple said originally they weren't going to let users do this themselves. They were going to make it be basically for Apple stores to do. But they apparently relented. But it would be nice if this was on the outside of this bar or even here instead of being on the inside. But this contraption is working for me. So I'll show you all how this went together. I'm going to leave that there so the screw stays through. So this is the foot. It's a little dusty. And it may be hard to see, but there's two little pins here. And those pins line up with little spots on the bottom of the Mac Pro. So it sort of locks into place and the screw holds it tight. So I'll bring y'all over here again. And switch cameras so y'all can see this, hopefully. All right, so this is what I was talking about. That screw comes through and it's got two little indentions here. So let's get a wheel. Like it kind of looks like the command symbol, the way they're laid in there. It's pretty nice. I cannot describe to you how heavy these are. And so they're nice. So these turn independently of each other. So it'll go in a circle. It'll turn, do everything. There's a little plastic around the collar. We'll take that off. Just set the wheels aside. So what we're going to look for is those little notches to line up with the notches on the end of this. And then we'll just kind of slide them in. Of course, there's a little plastic covering everything. So let's see. I may block your view for a second. So I'm going to back this out a little bit. I'm going to hold that in. All right, so now I'm going to, I really need a third hand for this because I'm using a socket, but let's see if I can manage this. I may need an assistant. Let's see if I can at least start it by hand, maybe. I'm sure by the last one of these, I'll have this whole thing figured out. Just want to see if I can get the thread started by hand. There we go. So that's a trick when you're working on things like this. If you are kind of in a situation where you need to hold everything still yourself, if you get threads started just a little bit, it'll hold things still enough, hopefully where you can use a bigger tool and get in there. So come on, camera, focus. Yep. There we go. Sorry about that. These LG webcams are good, but sometimes their focus drifts a little bit. Bring you all over here. Tell you what, I'm also going to drop you down some. Again, sorry for the nausea. We're just doing this live, you know? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. And I need to keep those little pegs lined up. There we go. It's turning now. Pretty good. And we're just going to do these hand tight. We don't want to over torque anything because these are pretty small little fixtures in here. So let's see. I got a little play still, so let's see. Let me just tighten it up a touch more. Like I said, I don't want to over torque these. There we go. All right, so we got one wheel on. Look at that. One wheel. And you'll notice the wheel's a lot taller than the foot. The Mac Pro will actually sit up a little higher under my desk once it's all on the wheels. Focus. Wow, the focus is so bad. All right, we're just gonna stay on the wide. All right, so now I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do the other top one. Maybe, I think I'm gonna rotate it around though, let's see. Set my tool aside here. I'm catching up with the chat. Are those fans or spaceship thrusters? These are actually the fans on the front of the machine. So this is the front of the computer. It pulls air in. They're a little bit dusty. Before I put this back under my desk, I'm going to dust all this out. And then there's a blower on the side that brings air out the back. So I'm going to rotate this around. And we're going to do this one. And this thing is pretty heavy, but I'm also just being really careful with it because it's the most expensive computer I've ever owned by far. One of our feet. If you guys want me to see me do something funny with the feet, let me know. Maybe on Twitter. I'm at ISMH. Let me know what I should do with the feet. Maybe we'll come up with something fun to do with those. So if you're watching, this is part of our month-long campaign to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You can go to stjude.org/relay to donate. We are at $116,604. We've had some tremendous giving over the last few days, which we really appreciate. And we want to keep that momentum going all through September. So stay tuned for that. Also on that page is a schedule of our upcoming live streams. So this week, Mike and I will be playing Flight Simulator at one point, and then he's also going to do a stream showing off some mechanical keyboard stuff. I don't know if he's building a keyboard or just showing stuff, but we'll see. Someone says I should make a coaster out of them. That's a good idea. Maybe like some little stand for my something for my desk. I really like that. All right, so there's foot number 2. I'm going to get another wheel. Just gonna leave that there. So you can see this. It's wrapped around here. It comes off. There's a little bit of that. You know, Apple uses that sort of translucent plastic to cover up any shiny bits so they don't scratch. So get rid of that. It's down there somewhere. And do this. All right, so like I did on the other side, I'm going to line these pins up. I'm going to try to get the screw started, maybe by hand. Of course, this is tricky too because everything moves, right? The wheel turns, the axle it's on turns. So until the screw pulls it tight against the body of the Mac Pro, everything's kind of wishy-washy putting this on. It's definitely not the easiest thing I've done. It's the hardest thing I've done in this machine. Upgrading the GPU, adding the drives, that was all really straightforward, honestly. But this has been the hardest so far. All right, I'm gonna pull that off. Let's see if I can start this by hand again. Flight Sim is my childhood. I remember playing it a little bit when I was a kid. The new one seems absolutely beautiful. Mike did a test stream the other day. And obviously it's going to vary depending where in the world you fly. In Memphis, the details weren't that great, but we're a pretty small city, all things considered. But I expect if you're flying around LA or New York or London or Rome or someplace, that it's really going to be more detailed. I'm really excited about that stream. That is on Tuesday afternoon, I think. The time is at stjude.org/relay. There's a schedule there. And again, all those times are in your local time zone, so you don't have to worry about missing it. The webpage just shows you your local times. All right, so I've got that in there, just sort of hand tight. I'm gonna go ahead and get it in there the rest of the way. It's really, it would have been really cool if they had put these openings somewhere else. All right, let's see this. Because I don't want to over tighten it. There's a little play in the wheels vertically, that's expected. And there's actually a little Loctite on the bottom of these screws, so they should hold pretty well over time. I don't think I'm going to need to retighten these in the future. So that's one side. So now if I set the machine up, you will see what I was talking about, the height difference. The wheels are about an inch taller. So that's it's kind of funny looking. But we can already see how easy this glides. I'm excited about this. Lay it down here. So, I mean, Apple, these wheels are really for people like maybe our friend Thomas Carter Grove or others who maybe work in a studio and they need to move these things around a bunch. I don't have that need, right? Like my desk is just right here. But it's a fun thing to do for the stream. Someone's asking, did I get the OWC wheels? So OWC or Maxells, they had a set of wheels that attached to the feet, and they basically clamped on either side of the foot. They were for pre-order. I paid for them like a month ago, and I have no idea where they are. They haven't shipped yet. I may do a comparison video between the two. Maybe let me know on Twitter if you want to see that. But I may also just leave the Apple wheels on it and cancel that OWC order. So we will see. All right, slow peel this time, Stephen. All right, I'll slow peel it up next to my mic. Oh, drop my tool here. All right, let's see if this camera will get its act together with the focus. Maybe I can show you all this. All right, let's see. Please keep the Apple wheels on it. Yeah, the OWC wheels definitely weren't as pretty. But I may do a comparison because not many people have these, let alone have them with the wheels on it. Because again, they're ridiculous. Move you all over a little bit more. Again, I'm very sorry for the nausea this is creating. I really tried a couple different ways thinking about doing this. I was going to do it on my overhead table, but I wanted multiple angles. And there's another project on the overhead table right now. All right. And yes, I'm wearing a Linus Tech Tip shirt. I'm glad someone noticed that. All right, so let's back that screw off. All right. And these screws, like I said, there's a little Loctite on them, so at first they don't want to give, and you kind of got to pop them, and then they'll come free. It doesn't want to free spin yet. There we go. So that is wheel number 3 taken off. All right, let me ASMR you guys one of these wheels. See what I can do about this. All right, so here's the wheel. See, it's all wrapped up. And hopefully you were able to hear that. All right, and it's also got, like I said, these plastic here, so I gotta take that off. This comes off. And with this. All right, so this is wheel number 3. So you can see this is chrome, and this is, it feels rubbery, but it's like some sort of rubber plastic hybrid, I think. There's no give in this. Like you walk up to a bicycle tire and like squeeze it, there's no give in this rubber at all. But it's very smooth. And again, this is heavy. Like this weighs probably 2 to 3 times what my iPhone does, it feels like. So it's really, really nice. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to hand tighten this. I'm going to remember the order this time for the first time. And let's see. Come back to that one. Put the wheel in. Let's see. Oh, this screw is trying to fall out. Let's not do that little screw. Let's stay in there. There we go. Let's get it started with just a couple of hand turns. Again, you just want the thread to hold the other side just a little bit. And even that little bit of connection will really give you a lot of flexibility in terms of needing a second or third hand to hold this stuff. And that's not just true in computers, that's true in all sorts of home repair and auto repair and stuff. You can really just like start a couple threads and it can really save you a lot of trouble. I feel like this is, what about this? Those of you in the U.S. may be familiar with This Old House. I think it's elsewhere as well, where basically they renovate and build houses, mostly in New England. Maybe I start like a Saturday morning Twitch show where I just open a random computer and we hang out for a while. That'd be fun. All right, so last time I did it like this. Apple's directions said to use a bendy screwdriver. I think I like using the socket wrench a little bit better because I feel like I got more room for my hands. Let's see, we should be getting close here. Oh, but it slipped out of the little hole, so it was just free spinning. All right, there we go. Keep some pressure on it. This is not the easiest thing I've ever done. Oh, come on. There we go. So until those little pegs are seated, it just wants to spin when you turn the screw. There we go. Just gonna tighten it down here. And again, I'm not going crazy, just hand tight. And that is in there. 3 out of 4, making good time. I guess, I don't know how long this is supposed to take. All right, how's everybody in the chat room doing? Let's see. If you told me as an adult I would spend my weekend watching a live stream of Wheels being sold at $10,000 computer, I'd say, yeah, that sounds about right. Welcome to the future. There's an excerpt back there, I bumped it too. Okay, that's one wheel to go. Let's see this last wheel, right here. So I'm gonna turn this again. And I'm gonna give this other camera one last chance to pull itself together. These LG cameras do really good at like distance focus, but up close, they sort of struggle. They're the LG, the 4K Brio. I've got 2 of them. We're using them for a bunch of podcast-a-thon stuff because they're really easy. And they're just USB-C, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's turn this a little bit. Let you all see this. Move those wheels out of the way. So, last one to go. Of course, I haven't actually turned this the right way, have I? Hang on. One more turn. There we go. So we're going to go in here. So let's bring y'all back over here. And we'll just keep an eye on that camera. All right, so if you're just joining us, this is the tool I'm using. It's a bit supplied by Apple, and then some stuff I had in my toolbox in my garage. So we're going to insert this here. Put this in reverse. Nope, I'm not actually in there. Of course, the last one's going to be the problem one. Let's see. Why aren't you turning? Let's see. Hope everyone's giving Mike a hard time in the chat. If you missed our test stream yesterday of Flight Simulator, which we're going to play on Tuesday, it's a good taste, I think, of what that stream is going to be like. It was a lot of fun. All right, let me try this. I don't think I was lined up well. Let's see if it wants to come. There we go. So again, there's a screw in the bottom of the thing, holds the foot on. And once it's past the retaining pegs, I can just unscrew the foot. Foot number 4. There it is. Shiny and a little bit dusty. Like I said, I'm going to clean this thing out before I put it back under my desk. The Mac Pro does get a little dusty. Apple said it didn't need filters. You know, filters are a very common thing on higher end PCs, and I think Apple was wrong. I think it could have used a set of filters in the front. I mean, just looking at this, you know, there's quite a bit of dust on these fans, and I haven't had this. I had this machine open last time about, I don't know, maybe sometime in June. So, you know, it's only been closed up for 2 or 3 months and is already dusty again. Peel this plastic off. And one question I get a lot about the Mac Pro is, why would you buy a Mac Pro with the ARM transition coming? A couple of reasons for that. One, when this was announced, we didn't know the ARM transition. I mean, we knew it was coming, but we didn't know it was coming. But two, I really think that the high end will be the last machines that Apple moves over. This kind of makes sense as what they've done in the past with other processor transitions. And really, 3, like I needed more computer, and this is going to serve me really well for years to come. You know, I'm sure I'll move to an ARM notebook at some point, but I think this Intel Mac Pro and I are going to have a long future together. And so I'm not too worried about Apple, you know, dropping support for it or something like that, maybe prematurely. I don't think they're going to do that. Quote that to me in 2 years, I guess. I always forget that I was starting these by hand. Let's pull this out of here. All right. You have an air filter in your office. That could be desk control. I do on my heating and air unit. There is. But I've always had dust problems out here. I mean, this building is basically outside, like it's a standalone building, and I just use a little wall unit for heating and air. And it sits on the floor, you know, so it's going to happen. You can't get away from dust. Put this bit in here. I think I realized I'm having trouble with this. I'm not sure I did any of the others up. I think I did them all with that side down, but so I wanted to challenge for this last one. Hope the 12-inch has a Magic Keyboard. Oh, I guess if it goes ARM, yeah, I'm sure it will. I don't think the butterfly keyboard's coming back. That is an interesting thought about the 12-inch MacBook coming back. I mean, it makes sense on one hand, because they could do something like really small and light, and it would be nice. But at the same time, like, it was so confusing. I mean, I think if it came back, the MacBook would have to definitely be the bottom of the thing, and the bottom of the line, and be cheaper. Because before, you know, the MacBook Air wasn't very good, and the MacBook Pro was down there, and it was very confusing as to what you should buy for like $1,200. And I just really hope Apple doesn't bring that confusion back to the lineup if the MacBook Air comes back. There we go. I'm just going to start this started by hand. I got to line the little holes up. Again, everything moves on this, so it's a little tricky. There we go. All right, I'm just going to get it hand tight again. Don't want to go crazy. There we go. That's it. I'm going to take my Apple bit out. I'm keeping this bit in the box. The box will go in the attic. And get rid of all this. Switch back to our wide camera here. And someone says, I will be shocked. TJ says, I'll be shocked if Apple Silicon Macs will be noticeably cheaper than the Intel counterparts. I agree with you, except for the MacBook. I think if the MacBook comes back, it's got to be below the Air. I don't think that Apple wants to reintroduce the confusion they had on the product line. All right, should we see how it turns? Let's see. Look at that. I can't tell y'all. I mean, they should feel good because they're $700. these casters feel amazing. Really, really incredible. I've made a mess of my desk here. Oh well. So we can turn it around this way. See all the stuff inside of it. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Okay, so I promised y'all to offset my guilt. Don't roll off the table. Don't roll off the table. Let's see, put some. These wheels don't have brakes. It's very, very bad. I'm gonna sit this down because I don't want that to roll off the table. Okay, so stjude.org/relay. I promised that I'd be donating to offset this ridiculous project, and so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to stjude.org/relay, and not logged in as relay. That's good. I'm going to donate $700. I'm going to name it Stevens Mac Pro Wheel Forgiveness. It's a good stream, right? You're just watching me type on my phone. All right. Hit donate. What's really cool, if you haven't donated yet, Tiltify, which is the platform we're on this year, supports credit card payment, Apple Pay, as well as PayPal. So I'm going to use Apple Pay, and I'm going to double click to pay. And there we go, $700 donated to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to offset this project. That feels pretty good. And anytime I move my Mac Pro around, I'll think about this campaign and think about really what it means to my family as a St. Jude family and to all of the other families out there whose kids receive cancer treatment without any cost, and honestly, the best cancer treatment. One thing that's really cool about St. Jude that I don't think we talk about enough is that St. Jude is a research hospital, and yes, they treat lots of patients, thousands of patients, but a lot of that campus here in Memphis is donated to research. And over the years, they've really done some amazing work, not only in the realm of cancer, but other diseases. And they share that research with the world. So if a child is sick someplace else in the world and isn't treated at St. Jude can still have influence in that child's care because of their research shared with the world. Gang, that is awesome. Really, really awesome. And as a nerd, that science and research stuff kind of makes me excited. So I appreciate y'all joining me. stjude.org/relay. Donate, view our schedule for upcoming streams. We're going to do one on Tuesday. There's one on Thursday this week as well. If you have ideas for streams you want us to see us do in September, let us know on Twitter. Or if you're a Relay FM member in the Discord, there's a channel for podcastathon ideas because we've got a lot of September left to keep talking about this, keep doing fun stuff. So I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Thank you for the patience, getting the right tools and everything. And this was a lot of fun. So I will see y'all later.